Welcome, everybody, to Studio Day Everyday Quarantine. It's nice to see you. Today, we get to our safety rankings for the 2021 NFL Draft. It's time to do from number 10 to number 1 and give you the 10 best safeties in this draft class. Cowboys, by the way, they're in the market, okay? The Cowboys should use one of their first 2 or 3 picks on a safety. I anticipate that they will. When you look at all they really have is Donovan Wilson, and then do you consider Jaron Kearse and Keanu Neal safeties, or is Keanu Neal a linebacker and Jaron Kearse is like a matchup and special teams guy? Whatever. At free safety, you have DeMonte Kazee, and he got like no guaranteed money and is basically playing for league minimum. So that's money talking, okay? Money talks in the NFL, and they're telling you that they are in the market for a safety. So from 10 to 1, it's actually 10A and 10B to 1. Because at number 10, I have 2 guys in the 4th round, Andre Cisco and Caden Sterns. Cisco is at Syracuse, and Sterns is at the University of Texas. Cisco, ton of ball production in his career. I believe he has 13 career interceptions. Ton of ball production, but also responsible for more big plays than anyone I've seen in this draft class. So Andre Cisco terrifies me, but I understand that the translation from college to NFL, a lot of times it works. If you get your hands on the ball in college, you get your hands on balls in the NFL. That's the way that Belichick has always operated because it's true. So Andre Cisco has appeal, but I'm also terrified of him. And Caden Sterns is a polar opposite. Caden Sterns at Texas tested well as a good athlete, but on tape, you just get bored because he's not a risk taker. And so the different paths his career could take is, I don't know. You know, he's a tough one where he could be really, really good and maybe he's not good at all. He was one of the toughest studies because he just wasn't going to break from, hey, I'm back here. I'm going to make the plays that come to me. So he was one of my most challenging guys at safety was Caden Sterns. It's 10A and 10B. Then we get into our top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could call them 10 and 9 because, spoiler alert, my number 1 safety is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. But that depends. Notre Dame. Maybe he's a linebacker. Maybe he's a safety. So I just listed him in both in my rankings where he's my number 1 linebacker and he's my number 1 strong safety. So wherever you're going to play him, I love Koramoah. Now, without him in the mix, we move on from 10A and 10B, and you come up to my 3rd round graded safeties, and this is going to be Jamar Johnson at Indiana, who, again, Jamar Johnson he's a ball guy. He can make plays. He's good in coverage. He has no idea how to tackle. I mean, just kind of not interested and kind of can't do it at all. Just kind of goes, and sees what happens. Can't tackle, which is kind of wild for a safety, but there's a lot of value in guys who are real-life free safeties, and Jamar Johnson can be that at Indiana. Tyree Gillespie is safety number, I'm working my way up, right? So he'd be 8. Tyree Gillespie at Missouri, watch his game against Alabama. The first drive of that game is teaching tape of all different aspects of safety. He can play back as a single high, but he plays really well coming forward, running the alley against Alabama. I believe it was either Smith or Waddle on a jet sweep, and he just straight down the alley, tackle for either loss or no gain. And the very next play, I believe it was, he breaks up a pass to the other side of the field coming downhill, dislodging the ball from the receiver. There's a lot to like about Tyree Gillespie out of Missouri. We move forward. These are my cheater grades, round 2 or 3. These are a 2-3. Hamza Nasirildeen at Florida State. This is a hybrid dude, 6'4", 200 I don't have it in front of me, but like 230 pounds. Nice interception against Trevor Lawrence along the sideline. He's a hybrid guy. Linebacker-ish. Strong safety-ish. He can cover for a strong safety, but you're not going to want him matched up in the slot on a team's slot wide receiver. But tackle, run the alley, linebacker responsibilities. Hamza, Florida State. Which brings us to safety. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how good I am at keeping my numbers. Safety 6. Javon Holland, Oregon. Did not love him. I had him as a 3-4 when I was first watching him on tape. What I liked about him was instinctually letting the quarterback take him to the ball, ability if he has a chance to get his hands on the ball. Javon Holland is going to make plays for you. But when I was watching him, I wasn't sold on his athleticism. And so I was like, well, can he stay in the slot in the league? Is he athletic enough to do that? And then is he physical enough to be like a box guy? And then in his pro day, he tested really well athletically, which then I think you can pair that in 2018, he played free safety, and you can pair those ball skills and that playing intelligence with the measurable athleticism, and now I can project him to say, hey, I can take a shot on him on day 2 to be a free safety in the NFL. That's Javon Holland. Safety 5, Trevon Merrick, TCU. Nope, that's not technically. It's just because those are free safety stacked. 5 would be Divine Diablo, Virginia Tech. 6'2 and a half, 6'2 and 3/4, almost 230 pounds. And I think that's being held against him by a lot of guys because he doesn't look like your standard safety, but he can cover at that size. He's not the best change of direction guy, but he's a smart football player. He's a former receiver, and you can see that when he picked off Trevor Lawrence in the back of the end zone at Clemson in the Clemson game. And again, a guy that when you get him closer to the line of scrimmage can play the run well, can do all those responsibilities. So Divine Diablo to me is a better prospect than a lot of people are projecting him to be. I like him. Safety 4, Trevon Merrick, TCU. These are second-round players. Trevon Merrick, to me, is jack of all trades, master of none. Where at TCU, they played a split safety most of the time, so each guy had a half of the field as opposed to a single high, real-life free safety and a down safety. Now, he did play some down, he did play some up, but mostly they were split safeties, he and Ardarius Washington. And Merrick is he tests athletically the way that you want. He can tackle. He can cover. He has everything that you want. I just don't think any of them are at an elite level. He's an okay tackler. Instinctually, he's solid. He has good ball production, which I think helps him a lot, that he's gotten his hands on a lot of footballs over the last 2 years. So to me, Trevon Merrick, I don't know if he's a real-life free safety, but he's a good prospect. He doesn't have a glaring weakness. Safety 3, Richie Grant, Central Florida. And maybe I need to switch this. You down to have a debate show, me versus me, right here, live? Ardarius Washington, TCU, and Richie Grant, Central Florida. Those are the guys that I like the most. Richie Grant ran a 1/10 of a second faster in his 40. He's almost 3 inches taller. He's heavier. Richie Grant is safer. He's an older prospect. He's 23. But that's really all you can hold against Richie Grant. He's a physical dude. He's willing to play the run. He doesn't miss a lot of tackles. He can play real-life single-high free safety. He's got ball production. He's the safer one. I'm just selfishly and being a jerk and standing by my tape reaction of watching Ardarius Washington at TCU. I love him. 2 years ago, he had, 5 interceptions, something like that. And then last year, it's like, hey, where'd the ball production go? The answer is people didn't throw at him. They threw at TCU's corners. They were willing to throw at Trevon Merrick, and he held up well. And he batted down a bunch of balls there playing over the slot or playing a half safety. They didn't throw at Ardarius Washington because Ardarius Washington can step down in the slot and shut down a slot receiver in man coverage. When you've got him in the split safety and he's playing up and he's playing down or he's playing a half a field, instinctually nobody tops Ardarius Washington in this draft class. At the snap, it's like the Nick Bolton of safeties. If you've seen my linebacker video, Nick Bolton is the fastest processor of the linebackers, I believe. He's never wrong. He's always moving in the right direction, and he's doing it quickly. That's Ardarius Washington at safety. He ain't scared. He's 5'8", 170-something, but he is not scared to hit. He misses not a bunch of tackles, but probably more than Grant. Grant's bigger. Grant's technically faster. Richie Grant's safer, but I'm not budging. Ardarius Washington is safety 2. Or safety 1, because, again, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker / safety, wherever you want to put him. He's technically my safety 1 and my only first-rounded graded safety. Washington and Grant, top of 2. Merrick and Divine Diablo, in round 2. Holland and Nasruddin, 2-3. Round 3, Jamar Johnson and Tyree Gillespie. Round 4, Andre Sisco and Caden Sterns. That is your top 10 safeties of the 2021 draft class. If you think I've left out your guy, go ahead and hit me up. I have other guys on the board. They're just not in the top 10. But if you've got a case you want to make for somebody, you let me know, and I'll check it out. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. I love you, but I'm not saying bye yet because I need to remind you to listen to the G-Bag Nation 2 to 7 on 105.3 The Fan every day. Odyssey app, AUDACY. If you're outside the listening area, you can find us on there. Check 1053thefan.com every day. Subscribe to my YouTube page at youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh and leave in the comments who I screwed up and left out. It was like my micro machine turbo voice. All right, love you guys. Bye.